Good evening, students of PSC5032, the LPC add-on course for research methods, which completes the requirements for your LPC license. Last week, week 2, and this week, week 3, I've asked you to pay attention to different aspects of the article that you might combine together to complete your summation paper, summation requirement for this course, which is a critique of the meditation study for post-traumatic stress symptoms in veterans at different VA clinics. I'm looking over to the left. I've got a to the right, actually, I've got a copy of the article up on another monitor. The best kind of a sample for any kind of a research study is a random sample. It's assumed that when you pick a random sample, the variations that might exist within the population will sort of cancel each other out. That's the idea behind selecting a random sample. This sample, of course, is not random. And in some cases, the veterans actually self-selected the program. Consider the fact that self-selection sometimes creates participant bias. In other words, if you select to go into a program that uses meditation, well, you're actually buying into the success of that program as well, and that's called participant bias. The sample is described in the article pretty well, and what you should do is note any weaknesses that you might see in the selection of that sample. Note, of course, the number in the sample. And the characteristics of the sample will determine to what population the information that is gleaned from the study can be applied to. So take a look at the nature of the sample and then determine what population you would be able to generalize the results to. That is also referred to as external validity. The methods that are used are actually quite well delineated or elucidated in the study itself. Consider whether the design here is within subjects. That's when you have a study where a pretest is performed, an intervention is applied, and then a post-test is applied to the same group of participants. That is what would be considered a within subjects design. Within subjects design minimizes individual differences because participant A comes to the pre-test and the post-test with the same package of personality traits, unless something rather major happens in between pre and post-test. So individual differences are minimized. However, the possibility that something could have happened which changed the nature of the participant between the start, the pretest, and the post-test magnifies historical differences, which are simply differences due to the passage of time. In a long study, this could be maturation, it could be a disease, it could be any change of circumstances that happen historically between the pre and the post-test. An alternative design is between subjects design. Between subjects design is when you take a sample of participants and split them randomly into a treatment group and a control group. A pre-test is done before the intervention with both groups. And then in one group, the intervention is applied. In the other group, just the passage of time happens. And then a post-test is applied after the intervention. This design compares one group with the intervention to another group that did not get the intervention. This design magnifies individual differences because it would be impossible to get a group that is exactly equivalent, impossible to get a control group and a treatment group that are exactly equivalent. So individual differences between participants are magnified in this design. However, historical differences are minimized in this design. Some studies utilize a mixed design, with some measures being within subjects and some measures being between subjects. So in this meta-analysis, determine whether you have a within subjects design or a between subjects design or a mixed methods design. That's all rather straightforward stuff. I don't think that there's too much else that I need to clue you into. Just be aware that your final critique should be a combination of all the things that have been mentioned as the emphasis each week, and it should be relatively easy for you to put this together. You do have a sample outline of what your critique might look like, so good luck with that, and if you have any questions, please email me. I'm happy to answer them. I'm on campus on Tuesday mornings, and you could make an appointment to see me before or after, or just take a chance and walk in. I'm in the community hall on Tuesday mornings, so take care, and I hope everyone is safe from the rain that we've had, that there's no problems with any runoff or debris flows in your area, and take care.